Hello, you've caught me trying to advance the plot in a Japanese role-playing game.
Which is pretty rare, let's be honest, as usually in JRPGs I'm on the world map, beating up anime cabbages for 4 hours until I'm over-leveled to the point of clinical EXP obesity. But now, here I am, in a town, talking to the person who holds the keys to moving the story forward. So, story person, I am ready. Can I have the keys, please?
You can, but they're in my pocket and the zip appears to be broken, so I can't open it. You might have to get Random Junk Shop Man to make me a new one.
Right, it's a fetch quest then. Entry 1 on this list of 7 quest objectives in every game ever. Off to Random Junk Shop Man's Random Junk Shop.
It's not too bad this. Random Junk Shop Man's Random Junk Shop is just down the street a bit. Here we are. Hello, Random Junk Shop Man. Can you make a new zip for Storyman's pocket, please?
But of course I can. Oh, excellent.
But I'm afraid I'm out of materials. I'll need you to find me a rare alloy called zirconium.
Let me guess where you find that.
You'll find zirconium in the Cave of Danger to the northeast. Be careful though, I hear it's infested with monsters.
Right, off to the Cave of Danger to find some zirconium then. I really hope it isn't right at the back of the cave, behind a small waterfall guarded by a giant fire-breathing dragon or something.
I am Bellowbelly, Lord of the Worms. I can only be defeated with the Sword of Miracles, located deep beneath the Lake of Destiny.
Fetch quests.
You know, by the time I've spent 30 minutes summoning the courage to do an underwater bit, to find the sword, to kill the dragon, to get the materials, to make the zip, I've forgotten what I was doing to begin with.
Just give me entry number 2. I am done with this now.
It's on a piece of paper inside this egg.
Perfect. Right. Oh, for goodness sake. Oh my god. Ah! Right. Entry 2. Guard the door.
Over the years, video games have come up with many ingenious ways of hiding loading screens from us. In fact, they are so good at it you barely encounter loading screens at all anymore. A cheeky little cutscene here, a bit where your character slowly shuffles through a gap there, and, of course, the bit where you have to fight off waves of enemies while one of your friends opens a door.
Elena, hurry up!
It's alright, games. I know you're loading. You don't have to say anything. I've got your back.
The video game equivalent of body shielding your bestie all the way to the bathroom when they've had a wardrobe malfunction at a wedding. It's cool, you do what you need to do. I've trained for this. I won't let you down. You take as long as you need.
Enemies incoming. Wave 17.
As long as you need.
Number 3, the Escort Mission. Now, I'm not one of those people who's against escort missions just because, you know, done well, they can be great.
Eco is essentially Escort Mission the game, and yet it's one of the best games ever made.
But it is amazing how often they crop up when you think about it, even in games you'd never suspect. Resident Evil 4. Look after Ashley, the president's daughter. Help her climb down ladders. Free her from traps. Don't accidentally shoot her when she walks right in front of you during a frantic battle against an army of mad cultists. Metal Gear Solid 3.
Metal Gear Solid 3
has an escort bit right at the end when you have to help a seriously injured Eva sneak through a jungle while being hunted by an army of very angry Russians. Or, and to be honest, I've only included this bit so I can shame Dave, or you can just run about like an idiot shooting everything with a shotgun and definitely being seen. And Metal Gear Solid 2
sorry,
has the infamous escort mission that also doubles up as an underwater bit, where you have to swim Emma Emmerich to safety, all while navigating a maze of girders and not drowning.
let's never do Metal Gear Stupid for Metal Gear Solid 2, because I do not think I could handle watching them do this bit.
And then you've got BioShock Infinite, which I've always argued is a reverse Escort Mission, in that Booker is the one who constantly needs to be kept alive by Elizabeth, you know, when she rips through space-time to give you extra cover or chucks you ammo. You are essentially playing the person being escorted.
So yeah, there is my opinion on that. Entry number 4.
The on-rails escape. And I'll admit, I absolutely love these bits. They're like releasing a pressure valve after a particularly tense boss fight or emotionally charged cutscene. A torrent of pure gameplay bursting through the narrative sluice gates. There's the one in Uncharted Drake's Fortune after Elena busts you out of jail. You basically get to have fun blowing up Eddie Raja's goons as Elena whizzes through the jungle. This entire sequence, both a breathless slice of matinee action gameplay evoking the cinematic greats that inspired it, and also the blueprint for what we'd see later in the Uncharted series. This chase sequence is like the seed from which blossomed the epic train bit in Uncharted 2, the horse chase in 3, and ultimately the convoy chase from Uncharted 4.
I mean, everyone, rightfully, absolutely loves the convoy chase in Uncharted 4, and yet I still think it's grossly underappreciated.
This is an on-rails sequence that leaves the rails behind and puts you in control. Drake leaping from vehicle to vehicle, doing actual driving, smashing into stuff, shooting enemies. I've played this scene a dozen times and it's always slightly different.
And yet somehow I'm always subtly guided to the same narrative outcome without feeling like I've been guided at all.
Like when my dad held the bike seat, but then took his hand away when I looked around, so I'd feel like I was actually riding the bike by myself. Anyway, enough about visiting my dad last week. Let's get back on track. Pun most definitely intended, because the on-rails escape is in more than just Uncharted.
It's in Metal Gear as well, obviously, like everything.
There's the Jeep escape right at the end of Metal Gear Solid, Meryl driving you towards the end game, while you and Liquid exchange grunts and pot shots. Then in Snake Eater, it's Eva at the wheel as you rifle your way through Groznygrad, chased down by enemies on bikes, ocelots on bikes, and a massive nuclear tank on rocket-boosted caterpillar tracks.
There are more too, but Metal Gear. You think of something and write it in the comments then.
Next, the time limit bit. Why, games? Why stress me out like this? I already feel like a thin balloon pumped full of liquid adrenaline from the boss fight I've probably just won. Why are you now making me run away while a clock counts down in the top left corner?
Yes, Final Fantasy VII, I am talking about you.
Playing the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
I did well. I got all the way to entry number 5 without mentioning it.
Anyway, yes, playing the remake demo reminded me of the original game, which only gives you 10 minutes to escape the reactor while hitting you in the ears with frantic music and in the frustration glands with random battles. And while I think about it, Final Fantasy is guilty of the time limit more than once. Remember the train heist in Final Fantasy VIII?
Where you had to avoid being seen by the slow guard and that really fast guard at the same time. Oh my god.
And it's not just Final Fantasy, obviously. You get this in loads of other games.
You've gone over already. Next entry, hurry up.
Entry 6, the compulsory puzzle solving bit. Now, this can take many forms. In BioShock, it manifests as hacking. In Skyrim, you'll occasionally get rooms inside Nordic ruins where, just for a little bit of chill time in between sneak stabbing all the Draugr, you'll have to solve a little symbol-based puzzle.
Often in survival horror games, puzzle solving will be your downtime.
So when you're not soiling yourself over what's round the next corner, you're sweating about what key goes in what hole, or how to turn the power back on, or in what direction to turn the statue. And in the case of Resident Evil 7, you'll be doing this at the same time as soiling yourself. See, fumbling about with this spider ornament thing while Marguerite mercilessly hunts you down.
I did heroically figure all of these things out though. Well done me. Oh. You still haven't figured out that your videos suck though. Right, getting sick of this. Hello! Yeah, I don't know who this is who keeps sending me admittedly very sick burns, but it is not funny anymore. Nobody is laughing, so just cut it out, otherwise I'll send my badge around.
Last entry. Now, this usually happens towards the end of games, once you've spent hours learning all the tricks and leveling your character into an all-conquering badass, and the game goes, cool, well done, now do this really hard bit without any of the things you've spent the last 20 hours learning how to use. Case in point, Raiden having to sneak through one of the toughest areas of Metal Gear Solid 2 literally naked. Stop challenging me, games, honestly.
And the mother of all now do it without any of your items bits. Final Fantasy 15, Chapter 13.
It's not just your items you have to go without, it's your friends too, running through dark hallways as Noctis, fighting enemies armed with nothing but a magic ring and your own dogged determination to get out of this infernal hell trap before bedtime. I guess the good thing about these bits is when you are done with them, the feeling you get when you're reunited with your gear, and in the case of Final Fantasy 15, your friends, is absolutely amazing. You're often rewarded with a post, now do it without all your items bit, which I'm going to call the well done, here's a load of enemies to mercilessly slaughter with all your items reward bit. Sort of like congratulating yourself on successful completion of a diet by cramming 17 cakes in your face.
A 17 cakes bit. That's what we're calling these from now on. Bonus entry.
The 17 cakes bit in Metal Gear Solid 2 is you and Snake taking down loads of guards in an amazing shootout, for instance. List your own favourite 17 cakes bits in the comments, and while you're there, give us a like if you enjoyed this video. Click the notification bell to stay up to date with everything on the channel, and we'll see you again next week for another Friday feature. Thanks for watching.
For the players.